Good evening, students. Now, in this lecture, we will revise our first unit, that is the fluid properties and pressure measurement. Okay, so in these slides, we will go through our first unit. Our first unit is nothing but the fluid properties and a pressure measurement. Now, so first, what do we mean by fluid mechanics? Okay, so first we will go through the fluid mechanics. So as you know that the fluid mechanics is the branch of science which deals with the behavior of fluids, which is nothing but the liquids or gases at rest as well as in motion. As we know that the mechanics is the oldest physical science that deals with both stationary and moving bodies under the influence of the forces. And if the branch of mechanics which deals with the bodies at rest, then we will call it as static. And if the branch which deals with the bodies in motion, we can call it as a dynamics. So fluid mechanics, it is defined as the science that deals with the behavior of fluids at rest, which is nothing but the fluid statics, or the behavior of fluids in motion, which is nothing but the fluid dynamics, and the interaction of the fluids with solids or other fluids at the boundaries. So the fluid mechanics is also referred as fluid dynamics by considering fluid at rest as a special case of motion with zero velocity. So this is about your fluid mechanics subject. Now we will go through first unit, like properties of fluids and pressure measurement. Now you know that the properties of fluids. So there are so very various types of properties of fluid. And now property is nothing but a characteristics of a system, which is called as the property. Now properties may be considered either intensive property or extensive property, as you have studied in your thermodynamics lectures. Okay, so intensive means those properties which are independent of mass are called as intensive properties, and those properties which are dependent on mass, which are called as extensive properties. For example, intensive properties like temperature, pressure, density. Now extensive properties means total mass, total volume. These are considered to be a extensive properties. Okay, so we will go through in detail. So first, what do we mean by fluids? Okay, as you know that the substance exists in three phases. First one is solid, second one is liquid, and third one is gas. Okay, also at very high temperature there is another phase which is called as fourth state of matter, which is known as plasma. Plasma is nothing but a hot ionized gas consisting of approximately equal number of positively charged ions and negatively charged electrons. So first of all, we need to understand what is the fluid, or so what do we mean by or definition of the fluid? So fluid, it is nothing but a substance in a liquid or gas phase, which is referred to as a fluid. Okay, so liquid and gases are both fluids. So fluid is any substance that flows and takes the shape of its container. Now the distinction between solid and fluid is made on the basis of that the substance ability to resist an applied shear force or shear stress that tends to change its shape. So solid can resist an applied shear stress by deforming, but the fluid deforms continuously under the influence of shear stress. This is the basic difference between the solid and fluid. So understand, solid can resist an applied shear stress by deforming, but the fluid deforms continuously under the influence of shear stress. So in solid, shear stress is proportional to strain, but in fluids, shear stress is proportional to strain rate. Okay, so when a constant shear force is applied, a solid eventually stops deforming at some fixed strain angle, whereas fluid never stops deforming and approaches a constant rate of strain. So fluid is a substance in liquid or gaseous phase which takes the shape of its container. So this is nothing but the fluids. Okay, now we will consider the liquid and gases both are as a fluids. Now if the fluids are at rest, then the study of them is called as fluid static. Okay, and if the fluids are in motion, then the study of them is considered to be a fluid dynamics. Okay, now the science and technology of the mechanical properties of liquid is called as hydraulics. Okay, the technology of mechanical properties of the liquid is considered to be hydraulics. Similarly, the science of technology of the mechanical properties which are related to your air and other gases are considered to be pneumatic. Okay, now systems. The study of hydraulics and the pneumatics includes the study of fluids that are not enclosed, such as legs and air in the atmosphere, as well as pressurized systems that are enclosed. So this is called as system. Now hydraulic system is nothing but the mechanical system that operates using a liquid under pressure, and the pneumatic system is nothing but operating using a gas under pressure. Now what is the difference between the fluid and liquid? Okay, so this is also a basic fundamental fundamental question, as we studied about what is difference between the fluid and solid. So what was this difference? Actually the difference was it is distinguished between the shear stress ability, means substance ability to resist an applied shear force, because a solid can resist an applied shear stress by deforming, whereas a fluid deforms continuously. Now we will see the difference between the fluid and liquid. So liquids flow and take the shape of their container but maintain a constant volume. Okay, here liquid flow and take the shape of their container but they maintain a constant volume. Look this example, this liquid takes the shape while maintaining a constant volume, so that's why scats are a liquid, but the fluids are deforming continuously. Okay, so this is the difference. Fluids are deforming continuously and approaches a constant rate of strain, but the liquid doesn't. Okay, now we will see why the liquids or fluids are mixed, or fluids or liquids whether mixed or not. Okay, so depending on the situation they will mixed or they will separate out. Now so first we will see the, now here our main topic will start. Properties means, as we have discussed, the property is nothing but the characteristics of a system, which is called as a property, and properties are considered to be intensive properties or extensive properties. Okay, now there are 7 to 8 properties that we will study in our, that we have studied in our first unit. So first one is was density, then second one is what, second one is what, relative density, means, or we can call it as a specific gravity. Third one is what, specific weight or weight density. Then next we have studied about viscosity, then next surface tension, then next we have studied capillarity, then next compressibility and vapor pressure. Okay, so one by one we will see the properties. Now first property is density. Okay, so density is what, density is nothing but it is the ratio of mass per unit volume. Okay, so their mass per unit volume is nothing but the density, and its unit is kg per meter cube. Okay, so in diagrams you will see first one is less dense, second one is liquid, third one is more dense, means third one is considered to be a solid, first one is considered to be a gas, second one is considered to be a liquid, and these are the examples, means high denser, low denser volume, high denser volume. So density is nothing but the mass per unit volume. So its concept is nothing but how many kgs of water will be occupied by 1 meter cube of volume. Okay, so in 1 meter cube of volume, how many of kgs of mass will be occupied? It is nothing but your density. So density formula is mass per unit volume, and its unit is kg per meter cube. Now we will see one example based on the density property. So see, this is the example. What is this example? A quantity of helium gas at 0 degree Celsius with a volume of 4 metric. Okay, here given is that the volume of the gas, helium gas, is given, which is nothing but 4 meter cube, and has the mass of 0.712 kgs at standard atmospheric pressure. Then determine the density of this sample of helium gas. Now, as we know that here the given data is volume V is given 4 meter cube, mass M is given 0.712 kgs, and we need to calculate the density. Now, what is the formula? So formula is density is equal to mass per unit volume. So here mass is given 0.712 kg and volume is given 4 meter cube. So by using this formula, you will get 0.712 divided by 4 kgs per meter cube. So density will become 0.178 kg per meter cube. Okay, now next property is specific gravity. So specific gravity, so what does it mean, specific gravity? Specific gravity is also called as relative density. So relative density means what? We have to, if we want to find out the density of any substance, and if we know the density of any standard substance, as we are considering the water as a standard or generally accepted substance. So as we know that the density of water is given equal to 1000 kg per meter cube is the density value of the water. Now if we want to find out the density of petrol, then we need the quantity specific gravity or relative density. So it is simply the ratio of density of any substance to the density of standard substance. Okay, so it is called as specific gravity or relative density, and it is defined as the ratio of density of a substance to the density of some standard substance at a specified temperature. Okay, and usually we will take water as a standard substance, for which the density is equal to 1000 kg per meter cube. Okay, and it is a dimensionless quantity. Okay, so this is about your relative density or specific gravity. So this is your second property. Now specific gravity, for example, here we will solve some example. Here mass of the object is given as 180 lbs, mass of water is given as 70 lbs. Now specific gravity is nothing but the mass of object to the mass of water. So specific gravity will become 180 by 70. So specific gravity of the object will become 2.6. So final answer will be the specific gravity of object is 2.6, and depending on the specific gravity, there are two cases. Okay, so first one is whether the substance is lighter than the water or substance is heavier than the water, means which substance will float on the water or which substance will submerge on the water. So this is I have actually given the note like the substances with specific gravities less than 1 are lighter than water, and thus they would float on the water. Okay, now next property is the specific weight. Okay, specific weight, or you can say it as a wet density. Okay, it is denoted by letter gamma. Okay, now the weight of a unit volume of a substance is called as a specific weight. Okay, weight of a unit volume of a substance is called as specific weight, and it is given by the formula as specific weight gamma is equal to rho times g, because weight per unit volume. So weight per unit volume means weight is nothing but mass into gravity g divided by volume, but mass divided by volume is nothing but the density. So it will become rho times g. G is the gravitational acceleration. So specific weight is nothing but the weight of the fluid per unit volume. Okay, then next we will see the dynamic viscosity, or simply the viscosity concept of the viscosity. Our fourth property is viscosity. Okay, so what is viscosity? Actually, when two solid bodies in a contact move relative to each other, a friction force will develop at a contact surface in the direction opposite to the motion, as we have studied in the friction concept. Okay, and the magnitude of force needed to move, it will depends on the friction coefficient between the table and the fluid. Okay, so same situation will occur when a fluid moves relative to the solid, or when two fluids move relative to each other. We move with relative ease in air. Okay, as if we move in air, we will move with less resistance. But if we move in water, if we want to move in water, then some resistance will offer, this offered by water to our motion. Similarly, it is very difficult to move in a oil of density greater than the water. So it appears that there is a property that represents the internal resistance of a fluid to motion or fluidity. That the property is nothing but the viscosity. So simply, viscosity is defined as the property of fluid which offers resistance to the movement of one layer of fluid over another adjacent layer of the fluid. Okay, so it is a quantity measuring the force needed to overcome internal friction in the fluid. So viscosity is nothing but the property by which the fluid will offer some resistance to the movement of one layer of fluid over another adjacent layer. Okay, and the viscosity, actually what is this formula for the viscosity, as we have derived one derivation for Newton's law of viscosity, and from Newton's law of viscosity we have concluded that the shear stress is directly proportional to the velocity gradient. Okay, as we have derived this derivation in our lectures. So Newton postulated that the shear stress is proportional to the quantity du by dy. Du by dy is nothing but the velocity gradient. Okay, this is the velocity gradient, du by dy, and shear stress is proportional to this velocity gradient du by dy, where delta y or dy is the distance of separation between the two layers and du is the difference in their velocities. Okay, so if we remove this proportionality constant or proportionality sign, we need some constant, and the constant, if we replace this proportionality sign, it is replaced by some constant, and this constant is known as the dynamic viscosity. Okay, do you understand? So if tau is directly proportional to du by dy, then this directly proportionality sign is removed, and there will be some constant to remove this directly proportional sign, and this constant is known as dynamic viscosity. Okay, so, and the equation that the viscosity of fluid, the equation of this the Newton's law of viscosity means tau is equal to nu times du by dy, and the fluids which will follow this equation is known as Newtonian fluids. Okay, and the fluids which doesn't follow this equation is called as non-Newtonian fluids. Okay, and depending on that, there are 3 to 4 types that we have studied by using the graph of shear stress versus velocity gradient, and these fluids are considered as, first one is Newtonian fluids, and second one is non-Newtonian fluids. Now Newtonian fluids is nothing but the fluids which are following the Newton's law of viscosity equation, and non-Newtonian fluids means the fluids which doesn't follow the Newton's law of viscosity relationship. Now the non-Newtonian fluids are, there are 4 types of non-Newtonian fluids. First one is dilatant, second one is pseudoplastic, third one is Bingham plastic. Okay, so dilatant fluids, examples I have given some examples for dilatant fluids. Dilatant fluids, the examples are the solutions with suspended starch and salt. Now pseudoplastic fluids, For examples for pseudoplastic fluids are some paints or polymers solutions or fluids with suspended particles. And for Bingham plastic, because Bingham plastic fluids are very thicker fluids, so our standard or basic example we have studied is what? The toothpaste. Toothpaste is the basic or standard example for Bingham plastic fluids. Okay, now we will see the units of dynamic viscosity. So definition of dynamic viscosity is what? It is the ratio between the applied shear stress and the rate of shear, and it is a coefficient of the dynamic viscosity. Okay, so this is the coefficient, thus this is the measure of resistance to the flow of liquid. So first we will see the unit. So what will be the unit of the dynamic viscosity? As we know that the dynamic viscosity, shear stress is equal to nu times du by dy. So dynamic viscosity will become the shear stress divided by this velocity gradient. So by simplifying this equation, we will get the unit of dynamic viscosity as Newton second per meter square. Okay, so unit of this dynamic viscosity is Newton second per meter square, which is nothing but Pascal second, because Newtons per meter square is nothing but Pascal, so Pascals second. Now this viscosity can be measured in another unit, means another unit of, and it is called as poise. Okay, and 1 poise is nothing but equal to 0.1 Pascals second or 0.1 Newton second per meter square. Okay, now next thing is kinematic viscosity. Now kinematic viscosity, as we have studied this in previous lectures, like kinematic viscosity is that it is the ratio of dynamic viscosity to the density, and its unit is meter square per second. Its SI unit is meter square per second, and it is also expressed in another unit which is called as Stoke. 1 Stoke is nothing but 10 raised to power minus 4 meter square per second. Okay, so because this kinematic viscosity is generally used in fluid mechanics and heat transfer problems, and this actually appears frequently. So this is nothing but the ratio of the dynamic viscosity to the density, and its unit is meter square per second, and it is also expressed in the Stokes, and 1 Stoke is nothing but 1 centimeter square per second or 10 raised to power minus 4 meter square per second. Okay, in general, viscosity of the fluid depends on both temperature and pressure, although dependence on the pressure is rather weak. Okay, now this is about the kinematic viscosity. So kinematic viscosity depends on the density and absolute viscosity of the fluid, and ratio of the absolute viscosity to the density of fluid is known as the kinematic viscosity, and its units are meter square per second. Second unit is Stoke, which is nothing but 1 centimeter square per second or 1 meter square per second. Okay, now next is what is tension or surface tension. Now we will see this in next lecture. Okay, thank you.